is that 670,000 more Ghanaians are now benefiting from health insurance coverage. To address the declining funding of the health sector caused by the exit and budget cuts of development partners, following His Excellency John Dramani Mohammed's directive, we also quickly prioritized funds to fill the gaps. Still on financing, we continue to collaborate with private partners to invest in healthcare infrastructure through PPP arrangements. Currently, we have identified a partner conducting nationwide assessment that will underpin our route-tooling agenda for health facilities. Our biggest asset in healthcare is our people, the dedicated nurses, doctors, allied health professionals, pharmacists, and all supporting staff who serve Ghana every day. We recognize the challenges of over 70,000 qualified health workers currently awaiting employment, but I want to assure you that we are working tirelessly to clear this backlog. In the past 6 months alone, we have successfully finalized the employment process of over 10,000 nurses and midwives, with many more to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to share that we have taken decisive steps to clear the salary arrears for 321 pharmacist house officers who completed training in 2024, with payment now being processed. While 1,621 qualified pharmacists await permanent employment, we are prioritizing their recruitment as part of strengthening our health workforce. This is just one example of our broader commitment to clearing the backlog across all health worker cadres, ensuring every qualified professional has the chance to serve and strengthen Ghana's health system. To complement government recruitment, we are exploring managed migration and private sector options. Regarding managed migration opportunities, over 13 countries have now expressed interest in recruiting Ghanaian health workers. We are formulating policies to ensure these benefits are fairly distributed to both our health system and our professionals. Furthermore, we are also investing heavily in their professional development and welfare to ensure a motivated and skilled workforce. In this regard, the government has implemented conditions of service agreement with our health unions. Also, in recognition of the skill gaps identified by our health labor market analysis, we are revamping the curricula at training institutions to address population health needs, increasing intake for specialist nursing program, and transforming general nursing school into specialized training centers. We are indeed investing heavily in the next generation of health workers. Over the past 6 months, we have guided more than 40 nursing, midwifery, and allied health college through the accreditation process to offer degree programs alongside their existing diploma courses, a significant step forward for quality education. To improve accessibility, we launched a new admission portal for health training institutions that allows applicants to apply from the comfort of their homes. And ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we inherited a system for recruitment, for admissions, where they will generate codes, and these codes are distributed to the banks. And so you necessarily will have to travel from wherever you are to these banks before you can get access to the code and get access to register on the portal to be considered for admission. And so what we did was that we think that people can easily sit at the comfort of their houses and then go online, pay, get access to the platform, and register. And that's exactly what we did, including the reduction in the sales of forms. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another good news. And this good news, I know all of you will attest to this good news. I'm pleased to announce that just 24 hours ago, the nursing trainee allowance, for both the first and second quarters, amounting to 462.58 million Ghana cedis was credited to the account of our student nurses. I hope you all attest to this fact. Yesterday, I saw the jubilation across the country on the various campuses, and our brothers and sisters were excited receiving this money. It's a promise fulfilled. This demonstrates that when we say we support our future health workers, we follow through. Moving forward, we'll maintain this momentum to ensure allowances are paid on schedule, because supporting our trainees today means building a stronger, healthier Ghana tomorrow. And it is our expectation that we are going to pay this on monthly basis. Ladies and gentlemen, constructing health facilities and equipping them is critical for delivering quality care. We inherited several critical infrastructure projects, including the treatment and holding centers at Koforidua, Goso, Asamiso, the infectious disease training centers at Pantine and in King Council, and 10 key rehabilitation projects such as Ifian Kwanta Hospital, La General Hospital, Konfanoche Teaching Hospital, and the reconstruction of the central medical stores. In line with the government's promise to continue ongoing health projects, 4 major COVID-19 response initiatives, including treatment centers and staff accommodation funded by government and the World Bank, have been completed across the country over the past 6 months. Now another famous one. For the Agenda 111 initiative, we will prioritize the completion of projects that are more than 70% complete. Our government's resolve is clear to leave no community behind in the journey to excellent health infrastructure. We have also continued to upgrade key facilities, including the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital, Maternity and Children's Block. Hospitals such as Kolebu, Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, and Lekma hospitals have received essential equipment, including ventilators and oxygen plants. These are the tools we need to save lives every day. We remain committed to closing infrastructure and equipment gaps through domestic investment and partnership with private sector. However, there are still gaps. Many facilities need renovations, new equipment, and dependable maintenance system. We commit to bridging these gaps through domestic investment and international partnerships, primarily through private partnerships. Ladies and gentlemen, notwithstanding these challenges, we remain resolute as part of our firm commitment to fulfilling campaign promises and transforming health care infrastructure, particularly in underserved areas. The government has released funding to every district assembly to support the construction of at least 2 new CHIPS compounds each year. This investment brings quality health services closer to communities and shows our government dedication to building a stronger, healthier Ghana from the ground. Across the country, within the public sector, we have 6 teaching hospitals, 10 regional hospitals, and over 9,025 primary healthcare facilities, including district hospitals, polyclinics, health centers, and CHIPS compound. There are also several thousands of private health facilities. Together, these form the network of facilities through which we provide healthcare to the people of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, we promise to prioritize the response to non-communicable disease NCDs, which cause over 40% of our deaths, and we are on track with that. The Ghana Medical Trust Fund, popularly known as Mahama Cares, is a bold and innovative response to the growing challenge of chronic disease in Ghana. This includes our citizens with diabetes, hypertension, stroke, kidney failure, and cancers. With an annual budget of approximately 3 billion Ghana cedis, it will provide essential specialist care such as chemotherapy services that go beyond what the National Health Insurance currently covers. Funding will be provided by the National Health Insurance Fund, government budget allocation, investment, and generous grants and donations. Mahama Cares demonstrate how Ghana is leading the way in health innovation, ensuring that no Ghanaian fighting a chronic illness is left behind. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to all individuals and organizations that have donated generously. And I also encourage Ghanaians to continue to donate to support our compatriots living with chronic diseases. Free primary health care. The Free Primary Healthcare Initiative is making steady progress. We are engaging with relevant stakeholders to design, finalize, implement, and monitor the program. Looking ahead, the initiative has the potential to transform primary healthcare access in Ghana, ensuring that quality services are delivered equitably and sustainably across all communities. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, emergencies cannot wait. And you recall, when I took office as a minister, instead of the usual courtesies, I was greeted with outbreaks. I mean, meningitis here, cholera there, mpox, and all that. So we cannot completely avoid that, but how to manage it as and when it comes is what is very important. We must respond to them as they happen. It is for this reason that we continue to prioritize emergency services. To strengthen emergency response at the community level, the National Ambulance Service is partnering with St. John Ambulance to establish a pool of community first responders. I want to mention that we have initiated procedures to repair ambulances that have broken down. And in addition, we are also exploring opportunities to expand the fleet. The government of Ghana has demonstrated a steadfast commitment to the health and well-being of our children. This year, we increased the budget for vaccine by 46%. As of today, we have fully paid the country's $24.5 million to Gavi. This prompt payment will help ensure we avoid recurring shortages of critical vaccines, which can lead to outbreaks. By August, we'll receive hundreds of thousands of vaccine doses ready to reach every community across the nation. As we say, investing in our children's health today is securing Ghana's tomorrow. We are not resting on our achievements. The government will continue to prioritize and invest in immunization to protect every child and build a healthier nation for generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, the government has pledged and remains dedicated to making Ghana a center for vaccine manufacturing. In this regard, the National Vaccine Institute is collaborating with regulatory authority and pharmaceutical industry stakeholders to bring this plan to reality. I'm happy to inform you that one of our private sector partners has obtained market authorization from Ghana's FDA to produce snake anti-venom serum on a commercial scale, marking the next step in our goal to shift Ghana from consumer to producer. We have challenges, no doubt about that. Qualified health workers are waiting for jobs, industrial actions that threaten services, infrastructure gaps, as I've already mentioned, especially in regional hospitals, poor maintenance culture in our facilities and institutions. And we all know that as a country, when it comes to maintenance culture, we actually have a problem. And so in order not to keep repeating the challenges annually, we are fixing the problem. And this is what we are proposing to do. We have instructed all health facilities to ring-fence money, and that money will be dedicated towards the fixing of faulty equipment and the maintenance of the facility in general. And so that's exactly, government cannot continue to buy equipment, and then when it's faulty, we go back to government to look for money to repair them or to replace them. And so that is exactly what we are doing. So all the management of the various hospitals will be tasked to do, and that will be part of their KPIs. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are tackling these head-on, planning and investing prudently. Looking ahead, Ghana's health sector is poised for a remarkable transformation. We are fully committed to making free primary health care a reality for every Ghanaian, breaking down barriers to essential services. Now, the Mahama Cares initiative is no longer just a promise, it's a lifeline growing stronger every day. When fully operational, it will support our people who are battling with chronic disease in every part of our country. Our health workforce will be empowered through expanded specialist training and meaningful incentives, ensuring our skilled professionals remain motivated and ready to serve. We are clearing the backlog of qualified health workers to fill critical gaps in our system and position ourselves in support of His Excellency, the President John Dramani Mahama's 24-hour economy agenda. At the same time, we will scale up our efforts to equip our hospitals and clinics with modern technology, enabling us to provide care that meets global standards. This will catalyze our promise to promote medical tourism. And medical tourism, and we've already started a conversation where we will get other specialists from outside the country, US, UK, India, to travel in the country to come and perform various procedures. And the countries around us will also be aware of this particular arrangement so that they can also travel into Ghana to receive such treatment. Furthermore, we will continue to build partnerships and mobilize resources to strengthen the research and development, as well as the regulatory capacities needed for pharmaceutical and vaccine manufacturing, as earlier indicated. Together, these actions are not just plans on paper. They are the foundation of healthier, stronger Ghana today and for generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, the progress we have made so far is a testament to the dedication of our health teams, partners, communities, and ultimately the government's vision. Together, we will continue to deliver quality healthcare to every Ghanaian. I thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Health Minister, for that concise presentation, which nonetheless was packed with vital information for the Ghanaian public. At this juncture, I would like to invite to the microphone any members of the media present here who have questions for the minister. In the interest of time, I would encourage you to avoid lengthy preambles and go straight to relevant questions that would elicit useful information for the people of Ghana. Please identify yourself, the media house you operate for, and then ask your question.
Is my name. I work at TV. Oh yeah. So my name is Komla Klusha. I work at TV3. One, on the issue of the trainee allowances, is it the position of the government that you are going to continue the payment of these allowances to the trainees? Because you have come under a barrage of criticisms, especially from CSOs who say this is a burden on the purse of the state. But whilst at this, what is the state of the Mahama Cares? How much has accrued, and has disbursement of these funds started?
Thank you very much.
My name is Kester Crunchy. I write for the Daily Graphic. I wanted to know which health sector projects are being considered for the big push, are being captured under the big push agenda. And then secondly, what concessions did the government make regarding the negotiations they had with the nurses?
All right.
Akusi Chair, work with CTFM Channel 1 TV. So, Minister, you indicated that over 70,000 medical professionals have not been recruited in the last 5 years or so. These include pharmacists, nurses, and then doctors. What is the plan by government to ensure that healthcare workforce supply meets demand, taking into consideration the fact that you have launched the Mahama Cares, which you have promised free primary health care to every single Ghanaian. Secondly, my question is, we've witnessed recently the tensions in Tamale Teaching Hospital, where tensions were high, and which led to your subsequent public apology. I want to ask, what would be your response to critics who say that because you do not have medical background, you are unfit for this position that you hold? Thank you.
All right.
My name is Shadrach Odamejare, Metro TV. My question has to do with COVID-19, and recently we were seeing news of about 100 people being infected. I just want to know, should we be worried about a resurgence or increase in cases, especially when we are seeing the NPP carrying out some national delegates conference, even on Legon campus? That's my question.
Right. Thank you.
My name is Wisdom Hedejime. I work for TVXYZ. I want to find out, you talk about medical tourism, and the UGMC is one that could serve that purpose. Now you're handing over UGMC to the university. Are we informed, are we aware that handover will bring the benefit we seek, and how are staff going to be managed there? And then are we assured that going forward we're going to be having nurses and midwives declaring strike leading to deaths?
Thank you very much. So the minister would answer these questions first, and then we'll come back for another round of questions. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much for the questions. And the first question has to do whether or not we are going to continue to pay the allowances. And as I indicated in my submission, that we are going to maintain the momentum. So it's something that we are going to continue to do, going forward. So about Mahama Cares, where we have gotten to and what is in it. We put a team together, the policy framework was ready, we launched, we went to cabinet, and now it's at parliament. So we are looking at passing the bill. And once the bill is passed, then we'll then have the legal backing to fresh out the operationalization of it. So that's where we are at the moment. Now to the big push, I must say that we are still finalizing the projects to be included in the big push. So once we have not concluded on that, I will want to hold on for now. So we are still on that. And as and when we finish, it will be public knowledge. So now concessions made during the GRNA strike. I don't know whether some of you heard me during the strike. When I took office, it's a union I had met more than any other union. So let me put it on record that any concessions made or whatever we have come to agreement with is not as a result of the strike. It is something that was ongoing. And so for now, if you recall, they have, after the negotiations and after the parliament, the select committee had met all of us and all that. Now what we have agreed is that there were about 8 items that were under contention, and their position was that we should include all the 8 items and implement them this year. We should include them in the media review budget and implement them this year. So government position is that we are going to look at the uniform allowances for uniforms. So uniforms, we used to pay 400 Ghana cedis, and it's now been increased to 1,000 Ghana cedis. So government is looking at and putting that in the media review budget. And then we are also going to pay what we call the book and research allowance for their lecturers, and then the fuel allowance. So these are the 3 that we have agreed on for now. Now, concerns about the backlog, over 70,000 health workers at home. Yes, we have plans and strategies to make sure that we clear all these backlogs. Number 1, government is going to make the effort to employ every year. So in 2026 budget, you will see some reasonable number of health workers being employed. But we will not rest there. As I indicated in my submission, we are looking at what we call managed migration. And so we are talking to other countries, and about 13 countries have responded. And yesterday, the whole day, I spent it with my directors trying to come out with a very, solid MOU. So we are now going to take charge of the narrative of health migration. So we are going to engage government to government level so that we'll be interested in the welfare of Ghanaian health workers who travel outside there, and look at how that arrangement can also benefit Ghana. And so we have countries that have also responded favorably, and I'm very sure very soon you will see the results of the negotiations still ongoing. And so we are determined to make sure that we have our optimal health workforce in our country, and the SS2 will find opportunities for them outside the country. After all, remittances into the country also boost the economy, and so I think it is the right direction. Family Teaching Hospital. I have been in this space for more than 25 years. Politics, leadership, from member of parliament to deputy minister to ranking member on the health committee, and especially you, the media, you know how I work. Everybody and his style. Somebody may think that, well, let me stay in the office for people to go and take the report, come and I act on the report. I love to have first-hand information. I love to go to the field. I'm a grassroots person. And so that's my style. You can't take it away from me. And so you mentioned a tension in Tamale. And that I apologize and all that. I don't think you monitored the story very well. There was no need for apology, and I don't think that it is anybody's interest for anybody to apologize. It is work we are all doing. What is important is that the systems they are working with must be strengthened, and they get the required tools to deliver what they have to deliver. And so there was no apology anywhere. I saw things I was not happy. I'm the minister for the sector, and I have every right to deal with any problems in the sector, and I'll continue to do that. Instead of me to lament and to be complaining, and no, I will always want to deal with the issue. So please, there was no tension, there's calmness, and opinion leaders in the area have reached out, and there's calm and peace, and everybody is going about his or her duty very well. Now, not being a medical doctor, and therefore you are not fit to become the health minister. I am not the first person in that ministry who didn't have a health background. Dr. Sepanyanki, because he's Dr. Sepanyanki, maybe some of you think that he's a medical doctor. He's not. He's a PhD holder. My own friend, Ajimamanu, there are quite a number of them. And arguably, I'm told, that the best health minister so far is Mr. Nyama Donko, arguably. But Nyama Donko didn't have a health background. And for me, I have been a ranking member on the health committee for the past 7 years. There's no sector in the health sector, there's no agency I have not dealt with. So I'm very conversant with the sector. 7 years, ranking member. And my work as a ranking member is there for all of you to attest to it. And so whether or not I am fit for the position, what I am doing now is what you must judge me with. That's what's important. Spice in COVID-19. This was a special case restricted to UGM's, the University of Ghana campus. And by the grace of God, we have swiftly dealt with it. And for now, the numbers have drastically reduced, and there's no cause for alarm. And I indicated that clearly on the floor of the House when I was briefing the whole country through Parliament. So there's no cause for alarm. UGMC handing over. Whether the facility is under the Ministry of Health or is with the university, it's still the property of the state. And so, however we use the facility to benefit the country is what is important. So the fact that the facility is going to be run by the university doesn't mean that if there's the need for us to use it when it comes to the medical tourism, we cannot use it. So it's all part of the resources we have, because in fact that is the only quaternary, level healthcare we have in the country. And so it will continue to play its role as center of excellence and still continue to deliver the health services they are doing at the moment. I think these were the few I was able to capture. Thank you.
All right, so we'll continue with the questions, the second and final batch of questions. Yes.
Abdul Hanan Adam, GH1 TV. Mr. Speaker,
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Honorable Minister, sorry. I hope the Speaker will not sanction you for that. Minister, the last time the Ghana Health Service gave an update regarding Mpox was about a month ago, and they said that the number of cases at 19, 5 were on admission. We recorded 0 death. What is the current state of the Mpox? And are these 5 people who were on admission discharged, or we've recorded additional cases? And what measures are you taking to ensure that it doesn't escalate? My second question has to do with the tour you've been doing. When you were in opposition as ranking member, you visited health facilities. When you assumed office, you did same. And it appears that your critics say it's a 9-day wonder. You are no longer doing the tour. Are you going to continue? Mr. Speaker, Minister, sorry. On this question, I wish to come back for... on this question, I wish to come back for a follow-up. On the second question, I wish to come back.
Okay, thank you. Next question, please. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Ouch. Height. Okay, I'll manage. My name is Julius Yao Petechi. I report for the Ghanaian Times. Honorable Minister, at the height of the COVID pandemic, somewhere in 2020, 2021, Ghana bought Sputnik vaccines for $19 when it was on the world market for $10. A special committee was constituted, of which you were the co-chair, if I quite remember well. The minister at the time admitted that he wasn't thinking right. And your side in Parliament, the then Minority Caucus, gave an indication that should you win the next election, you were going to visit this Sputnik vaccine issue. One. The second one has to do with the Frontiers procurements at the airports for the COVID screenings. It didn't go through procurement as your caucus claimed at the time. What is government's position on these COVID issues? And then secondly...
But you've asked the two questions already.
Honorable, sorry, if you could just... quickly. So this one has to do with the death of a doctor at CAT about some 2 weeks ago. He's a cardio doctor, and then unfortunately what he does best is what killed him. What is government's plan when it comes to retooling of the hospitals? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable. My name is Patrick Asford Buidu with Radio Gold. During your presentation, you made it clear that some monies have been allocated to the municipal chief executives or the district for the construction of cheap compounds. So it means that that project will start very soon. But then you didn't tell us how much has been allocated for the continuation project for the Agenda 111. Could that be the case that the Agenda 111 has been abandoned, as some people are accusing your government? And if it is not, when are we seeing the completion of this? Thank you very much.
My name is Stanley Koblaku. I report for Pan-African Television. Honorable Minister, reports indicate that over 2.3 million Ghanaians are living with mental health conditions, yet only 2% of that number have access to formal treatment. Honorable Minister, I want to understand what specific measures is your ministry putting in place to fill that lacuna?
All right.
Thank you very much. I am Sethi, GBC. Honorable Minister, you stated that government is now going to concentrate on the Agenda 111 project that are 70 and above. May I know what is government doing to those that are below 70%? Then two, now that the ministry is focusing on exporting health personnel, what are the plans in place to ensure that we Ghanaians also have access to adequate health personnel to attend to us? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Maxwell Ababa. I work with Joy FM and Enjoy News. I'm excited that the minister talked about what his ministry is doing to clear the backlog in the health sector. A lot of my colleagues have raised that question because it's a public interest question and a lot of people send to us. So I still would want to ask. There have been concerns that clearing that backlog, the labor export, many people have lauded it. But the concern generally has been that it would be at the expense of strengthening the local health sector. What intervention is government going to put in place to ensure that the domestic health sector is strengthened in as much as we export, the others outside there? Thank you.
Thank you.
Owade, Honorable Ohoye de.
Yeah, kwaso.
The nyame asese Ohoye. Mani je ho pa Oya de. Owade, me pa cho me question here too, quick one. Mahama Care. Argument any analyst almost one agidi wo apomodi mu almost Mahama Care edi Mahama Care na eda so no mo anya mfiri so a e microphone contribute mo wa adwen bi say mo beyi edi Mahama Care no afiri so ana de atoso mienu yesi chip compounder yenim say e wo various communities no dodo na so kwan ne nye Yan Ghana for ya ni sika ye si chip compound ni wi a ba bi kura be ko na fridge kura ye de adro begum kura bi ni ho ye ko si chip compound ni akotwa na keke ana akade bi ka ho ana because de ye hu dada ne de na no de no sa
e da se bebre. So honorable minister, please take these questions here.
Thank you very much for these brilliant questions. Let me start with my tour, the unannounced visit. I'll continue to do that. I've not stopped. But the sector is very big, and you find yourself doing one thing at a time. And so it's not something I will stop. I'll continue to do it. After all, during that period, we saw a number of health facilities responding to that. Saw people clearing their premises, painting their hospitals and all that. You see, there are certain things that are beyond the management of the facilities, and that is for government to perform. I agree. That we'll continue to do our best. But there are basic ones that I think that the management of the various hospitals should also be up and doing, and that will make sure that they will do them. Now, to Sputnik vaccines and then the frontiers. This issue is still under investigation. And so I do not want to comment on it further. It is still under investigation. It has not come to an end. Since I took office, other investigation agencies have reached out to me for the ministry to respond. And so it's still under investigation. So anybody who thinks that it has come to an end is not true. It's still in progress. Both the Sputnik and the Frontiers. So it's still under investigation. Then the update on MPOX. I think we've left you far behind because they've done series of updates. So when you check the dashboard, at the moment, I think we have about 218 confirmed cases and about 21 new cases. But you see, the good news is that there's no single person on admission and it hasn't killed anybody. That is the good news. And so we will continue to do our best to respond to it. At the moment, what we are considering is to get vaccines to immunize the targeted areas. So very soon, you will see that we are rolling out vaccinations in those affected areas. So we are on top of the issue. Then MPOX, let me go to retooling. The retooling of our various health facilities. I agree that we need to first and foremost maintain and retool the already existing facilities. Because if we continue to build more without maintaining what we already have, for me, it doesn't make sense. And so government has a clear policy. Whilst government is directly investing in retooling, we're also exploring other avenues like the PPP, so that we make sure that our health facilities are well equipped to deliver the services they are mandated to deliver. Agenda 111. Agenda 111, and whether you link the question, about two people asked questions on Agenda 111. One was linking it to the CHIPS compounds, and the other was asking whether those below 70%, how we are going to handle those ones. So, at the moment, AESL is conducting audit on all the Agenda 111 projects. So we'll wait for the comprehensive report to guide us going forward. But there are things that His Excellency the President has communicated clearly on. One is that we are going to explore the PPP arrangement. So if you recall, you are the press, and the last time His Excellency met the clergy, he made an appeal to them that those who are interested should also come forward, and I've engaged, a number of such groups. So we'll be looking at that, and then so those below 70% will package it for, that purpose. But those above 70% will try if you can get government direct funding to complete them. Then somebody also linked it to the CHIPS compound. You know, the CHIPS is the basic unit of the service delivery. And that is in our communities, is in our villages. And so it's very important. There's a difference between what the Agenda 111 project is targeting and the CHIPS compound. The CHIPS compound touches the core of the primary health care. Now, in the international arena, we are being touted for effective immunization, about 95% coverage. It's all due to the strengthening of the CHIPS compound. And so, even if we invest so much in the CHIPS compounds, for me, I think it's the right direction. But about 600 CHIPS compounds cannot even be, the cost of 600 CHIPS compounds cannot even be more than 5 Agenda 111 facilities. It is estimated to cost about $17 to $18 million for Agenda 111. And we are estimating between 1 to 2 million Ghana cedis for a CHIP compound. So you see the difference. So putting all the 600 together will not even amount to about 5 of the Agenda 111 facilities. For Agenda 111, if you want to pump money and complete, we need not less than $1.6 billion. Yes, somebody shouted. Yes, that's what we need. And interestingly, we have sunk almost $400 million without completing and operationalizing one. And so we think that if we over-concentrate on Agenda 111 and we leave the already existing ones, we'll be doing a disservice to ourselves. Somebody clearly pointed out that somebody died as a result of lack of equipment, a medical doctor. And for me, that's quite avoidable. And with regards to that question, we've put measures in place. At the moment, His Excellency the President has instructed clearly that we should purchase 3 of the cath labs. 3. I have not been mandated to put out where the 3 will go, so that I will hold on. But he has instructed that we should buy 3 immediately. And we are looking at the comprehensive retooling of all the facilities. Now we come to mental health in this country. Now the policy direction for mental health is that you know that we were centralizing the mental health. So you see, you go to Pantine, and then they will bring people with mental disorder there, keep them there. You go to Asalam Down, and they are there. So government policies that now we are going to decentralize the treatment of mental illness to integrate it into the primary healthcare, from the CHIPS to the district hospitals to the regional. So it will not be as a matter of traveling to the teaching hospital before you get access to, mental health services. And so we are putting a lot of effort, and at the same time trying to increase allocations, budgetary allocations to that sector. There was a question about the export of nurses vis-a-vis the need for nurses and health workers in this country. If you paid attention, I consistently maintain that whilst we are keeping the optimum workforce, we will then look at how we can export the excess, optimum workforce. So we are not going to prioritize the export over what we need as a country. But truth be told, that the recruitment of health workforce is dependent on budgets. You cannot just employ for employing sake. And a typical example is what they did in 2024. They just said, go, they are employing, and they mentioned an amount of, a number of nurses that should be recruited. And after that, what else? You must pay the persons. Now, this government, it was even not part of the budget, but we have to make budgetary allocation to be able to pay more than 10,000 nurses. So just mentioning that you are going to recruit is not a solution. And at the moment, we have been able to put not less than 7,000 of them on the payroll, and we are looking at how we can put the rest also on the payroll. So, yes, export to create employment, but we also prioritize the need for optimum number of health workers in our country. The name Mahama Cares. The truth of the matter is that the name for the fund is called Ghana Medical Trust Fund. That is the name. But of course, the originator, the visionary leader. And so people are associating the policy with the originator. And it is not the first time we are hearing this. It has happened elsewhere before. Obama Cares, if you remember. I know that most of you may even not know the rare name for that particular program. All over the world, everybody was calling it Obama Cares. So let us not hide behind that. If you think you cannot contribute, say so. Don't hide behind the name and say because of the name you will not contribute. So that is the rare name. Somebody also asked whether we are just going to put up, brick and mortar and call them cheap compounds. Hospitals or health facilities are not the brick and mortar. The brick and mortar plus the personnel and the equipment. And so there are basic equipment every chip compound per this policy must have. Only yesterday, I was in discussions with the administrator for Common Fund and then the minister responsible for local government. And so we are liaising, we are linking up to make sure that this program becomes a success. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Okay, we'll take one last question. So, but you have to be very snappy because this is a special dispensation I've given you.
All right. Honorable, my name is Colin Scobie Body. I'm with Kesbin TV. My question has to do with HIV and AIDS in the country. I would like to know the current state and the measures being put in place to eradicate the disease. Thank you.
Of course, you have a follow-up.
I'm the lucky one. Honorable Minister, yes, Honorable Minister, some chiefs in your region, the Western North region, indicated to you and the President during your recent thank you visit that there are some chronic illnesses that are being recorded as a result of illegal mining activities. What is the Health Ministry's response to these diseases that have been recorded in Galamsey areas? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let me start from the last question. The medical doctors will tell you that the improper handling of mining contribute to the NCDs. And so it is part of the Mahama case. It's a program that is going to be dedicated towards the treatment of NCDs. So if there are other extreme conditions, as and when they come, like emergencies, we will then look at how to handle them. And then the HIV, I don't have specific figures at the moment, but it's a program that is being handled at the presidency. It is directly under the presidency, and I know that the presidency is giving it all the attention it deserves, and Her Excellency, the First Lady, is also highly interested, and so I think that we are making progress. But unfortunately, I cannot give you specific figures at the moment. Thank you.
This afternoon, trial of former Director General of National